welcome to my channel, or welcome back, loyal viewers. I'm Kerry, the nosy Hausfrau, alive and well. How are you doing? I have missed all of you so much. I was a little sick. I don't know if you heard there was kind of a nasty cold going around. It's not all lollipops in Disney World, is it now, America? I actually don't know what I have, because if you are in another country, you may have heard our president telling you that a lot of people have been tested. We have been giving out all kinds of tests. I think they said something like 1 million, which is really great considering we have over 300 million Americans. And if you believe they're giving out a lot of tests, try to get one. Try to get one when you're still breathing. I called up after a day of 102 fever and coughing and just so sick, I was deliriously sick. And I felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. I'm thinking I got this thing. And I'd like to know for sure, because there are different viruses, of course. I don't have allergies. And I call a nurse who was coughing worse than I was. That night I almost went to the hospital, and I'm glad I didn't. Because if I didn't have it, I probably would have left with it. The next morning, Dr. Mallory at ProMedica here in Toledo tested positive for the coronavirus. He was working in the ER where I was going to go. The nurse that I was speaking to probably had it too, because the Department of Health shut down that day as well. It was crazy, kids. So, like, very few people got testing, and really, we were cut off medically. The mentality was, whoa, if you're sick, stay home. We don't want you here at the hospital. We've got enough sickness. So to review, I had likely been exposed at urgent care. There were people coughing. This was just the day before we found out about this, of course. And then I had a fever, the cough, the body aches. I was having GI problems as well, just really terrible, like flu-like symptoms, as well as this elephant on my chest. My husband works in hospitals. He delivers the blood for testing, but he's very careful. All of these things considered, me being in high-risk group, 52 years old, diabetic, I was denied a test. I was told, if you are going to go to the ER, call ahead. Like I'm ordering a table at Lowry's. Piss off. If I'm going to the ER in a pandemic, you should be expecting me. What am I going to do, call and ask for a room with a view? I'm not calling ahead. By the way, make room for one more. Surprise, surprise. So where we're at now is my immune system kicked arse, and it's quite possible in my mind that staying home was better for me. I don't know about you, but I get no rest in a hospital. I was in the ICU once, and it was just like they're constantly coming in, checking on you. You can't get rest, even in the middle of the night. I need a good solid at least 6 hours in a row if my bladder doesn't wake me up, and that's like hard to do. I stayed at home. I just slept and slept. One day I slept almost the whole day. After I felt like at my sickest part, I had sips of orange juice and just slept and slept and slept. And then the next day I had little sips of broth, and Pat would just like leave stuff and go, because we had to, keep our distance. We're still keeping our social distance. We're not assuming that any of us are out of the woods. We're being very careful. I don't even take in the mail because I don't want to touch the mailbox that the mailman has to touch. But we're sitting at the same table for dinner. It's like a long table, so we sit at either side. It's kind of sad, but it's still family time, and I'm so grateful. I hope all of you are staying well. I wish I could get tested for antibodies so I could help people a little more on the front lines. I'm worried about the elderly in my community, and I miss taking care of them. So I hope I can get back to that soon. Hopefully we're all building up, we're acclimating to this even before the vaccine comes, and building up more immunes. And really, I hope that everyone is staying safe and healthy. A brief thank you. As the 10th child and youngest born to my parents, I just want to thank them for giving me the one good thing they gave me, which is the immune system I inherited. Even when I get stuff, I get over it. So thank you so much, Margaret and Philip, two very, very healthy people. Rest in peace. So how have I been spending my isolation time? What have I been doing? Not a whole hell of a lot, actually. In fact, I was worried that if I didn't get back to house cleaning, I was going to have those vloggers come in here. You ever see those kids who go into abandoned buildings? I imagine they'll come in my house and be like, looks like they left in a hurry. And I'll be like, hey, get the hell out of here. I just didn't dust and vacuum, you kids. And they run out the back door. I was also afraid that I haven't spoken to anybody. Like, I'm not a phone person. I try to avoid the phone, but I do talk to a couple of close friends and my brother from time to time. But I just haven't wanted to be on the phone because I've been coughing and stuff. But I I thought if I don't start speaking to people, see, I'm forgetting how to speak English. I'm going to de-evolve. By the time I leave the house, I'm going to go to Walmart for toilet paper, but I'm going to be like Nell. I'm going to forget how to be with other humans and interact, and I'm going to be like, Tay in a win, Miss a Chickapay, and they'll be like, what is wrong with her? Oh, she's been in isolation for like 6 months. The one thing I noticed with social media, and I hadn't been on it as much, it was kind of glorious actually, there are still people on Twitter doing the same shenanigans, the same high school BS in the midst of a pandemic. And I have to tell you, that's kind of a silver lining to me. You know, I think that's proof that if you're willing to be immature and hateful, even during a pandemic, you're saying, if this is the last day I live, this is how I want to spend my time. And that's walking like you're talking. You're willing to the end, when people could be dropping dead, you're still going to scour the timeline of your enemies to see if you can cancel them, or whatever the hell it is that people do when they spend all of this time with people they don't like. So hey, you're walking like you're talking. You're saying, I don't want to let anything happen without speaking my mind. You should never wait to tell people how much you don't like them, because one day it could be too late. So clearly I'm entertaining myself, and that's a wonderful skill to have when you are in isolation. I hope all of you are finding ways to enjoy your own company and appreciate the little things in life. It could be a bath, a book. As long as you're all feeling well and healthy, there's nothing we can't get through. I feel very fortunate that my husband is not out of work. That has really kept us afloat. I thought I would lose a bunch of patrons, and I understand if that happens, but I'm so grateful for those of you who stuck with me, because that has really helped. More than I can say. So we're going to get through this. Even if things are tight, I can live like a monk. I feel grateful for the primary needs. I feel grateful that the fairy lights have stayed on, but also, even if they didn't, I have a roof over my head. I can lay down at night. I felt just so wonderful to just start feeling well again, and it couldn't come at a better time, because here comes spring. We can't wait for warmer weather. It's still going to be chilly the rest of the month in Toledo, but there'll be a few days I can get out there where it's like 58, 60s. It's going to be a lot of rain too. And I want to start my backyard cleanup. I waited a little longer because I'm told from the habitat people that it helps butterflies and things that are hiding in the foliage during the winter. That helps them a little bit to leave some of your yard a little bit unkempt before you clean, so that they can mature and have a better spring. That gives us all a great excuse to procrastinate on the yard, but I'm looking forward to making my backyard kind of an oasis, and I hope to vlog out there too, because obviously we're not traveling anywhere, none of us, so we have to make home our staycation or our comfortable place. Because drama waits for no pandemic, I have to get right back in there. I think it's time. Even if some of this tea is stale, I'm going to chime in because people have been asking me for my thoughts, and I think I'm more interested in talking about stuff when I might have an unpopular opinion. I like to add my perspective. And the only one I'm going to address in this video is James Charles. My next video is going to be on Jeffree Star. But in this video, I want to discuss James Charles making people upset with his mugshot challenge picture that he took, where he made himself look bloodied and battered, as if this is what he imagined his mugshot would be. A lot of people were livid with him because it made them feel triggered about, and it was disrespectful to people of domestic abuse. I have to say, I see both sides of this, but I lean towards people have to stop thinking everybody is responsible for making them comfortable. It's too much outrage over something stupid. He's 20 years old. He is not, every single thing he does is not representative of how he's supposed to make everybody feel comfortable in every single cause or every group of marginalized people. We have to understand that this, by the way, is a Rorschach. Everything is based on your projection and your feelings. He did a mugshot where he bloodied his face. Well, how do you know that that had to do with domestic abuse? That could have been a guy who got drunk and fell down. He could have gotten into a scuffle with the police. It could have been something else. And I understand people want to school him, but you have to understand millions of people are coming at him. That's too much. And people are saying he didn't handle it right, he didn't react right. Well, have you ever had that many people pile on you? I just think, it's no secret that I don't like Hausfrau very much. At all. I think he is completely arrogant and full of himself, and I don't understand why he's famous, frankly. But that is neither here nor there. That doesn't mean that I don't care about what the truth is. Before I am a fan or an anti-fan of anyone, I am a fan of the truth. And I try to look at things as objectively as I can, obviously, within reason, because we all have bias. But when everybody is piling on him like he did something so disrespectful, I think it's a bit much. Let me know if you think that's insensitive of me. I know it's wrong to go against the grain or dare suggest that he didn't do something terrible. That's why I expect to get some hate for that. But my feeling is I can't feel any other way than I feel, and I just don't see what's all that terrible about it. Like, he's being glib about domestic violence because he does a beat-up photo. It's gatekeeping, it's outrage culture, and I'm just not having it. Sometimes, people, we have to recognize that even if something triggers us, it's through no fault of anyone else's, and not everybody in this world has a responsibility to make us feel comfortable about everything. It is not your personal civic right to be comfortable. It is not your right to be not offended. So that's just something I think people should keep in mind. And I understand people wanting to express their opinion, but in this case, I think people need to simmer down now. If you've watched this far, I so appreciate you, and I am so happy to be back. I'm going to take a break and get right into my Jeffree Star video because I want to get that one up as soon as possible, get a little more caught up on the tea. Everybody, continue to take care of yourself, stay home, wash your hands, be safe and careful, and be COVID-free. Until next time, Hausfrau out.